Hi everyone, this is Stenell from StenellMyersEnterprises.com, where you will learn about business, money, and entrepreneurship. So I had a young lady that came into my office for an interview, and the interview was for one of my businesses, my after-school program. And we were talking, and I was able to see her in a different element. And she sat back and she said, who wrote that we have to go to work, do a 9 to 5, clock in? Who wrote that? And I just looked at her. And I didn't look at her as if she was being, as if she was not professional. I was just looking at her like, this young lady looked like me. So I pulled my chair a little close to her and I said, you did. We all write our stories and what we want, but the thing is, we don't know. Sometimes we don't know how to start a business. We don't know where to go. I definitely didn't know. I had no clue, but I was driven. So I remember how I first started. I was in a salon and I used to get my hair done all the time. And I would look at this young man, and he was an older man, not a young man, he was an older man. And individuals would come in the shop and they would communicate. And I didn't understand who he was because he wasn't doing hair. He wasn't a person that did hair. He would just come in, sit down at his desk. It was obvious it was his desk, and people would come and talk to him. So after a couple of months, I went up to him and I said, who are you? What do you do? And he told me who he was. He said, I'm an entrepreneur. People come and they consult with me. And he said, I've never worked for anyone. He said, I went to a HBC college and I worked my way through. So I said, how can I become and be like you? Just like this young lady said to me, and this was back in my late 20s. It was almost the same thing that this young lady said to me. And when she said it, it sparked me back. That's why we went from interview to, hey, let's talk from woman to woman. And by the way, she did get the job. So he said, I won't waste your time and don't waste my time. Pick out a pen and a paper, all in this one conversation. I took out my pen, my paper, started to write. He said, I'm going to give you 3 contacts. Whatever you do with them is what you do with them. He was very nice, very humble. He said, many people that start entrepreneurship, there's a high percentage that they say they want to be an entrepreneur or they want to work for themselves, but they don't do it. They don't follow through. They don't have the tenacity. He said, but for some reason, while you coming up to me and just asking me this question that never happened before, to me, he said, I think you may be that one that's outside that percentage. And I looked at him, I said, I'm hungry. And I didn't even know I was hungry. I just was watching this man. And to me, what I saw would look like freedom. I had no clue. So I contacted individuals, and that's where everything started. And one was a paralegal. And a paralegal helped me with my first 501c3, which is my after school 501c3, Joy, Just Start Youth, Making a Difference. Joy stands for Just Start Youth, but I shorten it out. I say Joy. So he was the first to watch him. So I know I'm wearing this hat. This is I look like Janet Jackson what's that, the Rhythm Nation hat. But the point is, BOSS. You're a boss. I'm a boss, regardless of what. You can get up 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, work a 9 to 5. It does not matter. We are all bosses. You work, come home, take care of your kids, do cook dinner, whatever it is. This is for men, women. We are all bosses in our own element in the things that we do. We can do anything and we can do everything. For me, it was working in the field. I work in the field of human service. I worked in the field of child protective custody. I worked in so many different avenues that I said, I don't want to work for anyone. that was my choice. I think I can do this. I just didn't really know the steps. I just really didn't know exactly how. I was a single mom. I had my son at 19. I was supposed to go to college, like everyone else. So all the different elements for me, it didn't look too good. I'm from Camden. You know what people say about Camden. And so that's already a stigma. If I tell someone I'm from Camden, they will say negative things. That was a stigma right there. And a lot of great people come from Camden, like Tasha Smith. She just went out and just did her thing, went to Los Angeles and did it. And that's what it's about. It's about us just going out and doing the things that we need to do. As a single mom, I didn't even know that I was going to be in this place here today speaking to you regarding entrepreneurship or even being a business of talking about money and how to create a budget and your money just to be good stewards over your money. I would have never thought that. God is really good, but we can all do anything that we want to do. We can do anything, but it's just knowing the right steps. And it's also a lot of people, they just fall and say, I'm not going to do it no more. So they stop. Not really fall, they stop. And fear is the biggest problem. We have this fear that, oh no, I can't do it, or no, I'm not sure. And we just walk in fear. You can't walk in fear, because if I walked in fear, I would not be sitting in front of you. And that's why I'm here. I will not be here if I walked in fear. The thing is, I don't have that much fear, which is a little scary for me. And I do take risks. And I think that's just how I'm built. I take risks. So if you're a risk taker, and I'm not saying a risk taker where you bungee jump, I'm saying a risk taker where you're saying, you know what, I'm going to go out and try to get that contract. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to start my business. Or I'm going to go in my business and I'm going to get that higher position for that higher amount of money. Whatever it is that you want to do, everybody don't want to be an entrepreneur. I remember when I was working at an insurance company and I used to write down how I can benefit. This is crazy, but how I can benefit and help a company by staying home and helping a company. And I would just write down, that it will cut off as far as electric and other expenses and insurance and all kinds of stuff. Before any of this really came out, I wanted to stay home and work because I had two small kids at the time. And I remember writing it down, and one of my coworkers said to me, she came over and I was telling her, I was like, I want to work for myself. And she didn't. She said, I don't want to do that. She said, I don't want to start a business or work for myself. I want to work for somebody. I don't want that pressure. And that's okay too, because employers need employees, and that's okay. But the point that I'm trying to make is, whatever it is that you have a heart to do, you just go out there and you just do it. You put the pieces together and you do it. If I didn't have that man to start off to help me, I wouldn't be here. Then 15 years later, I met a woman that from church, and I didn't know that this African American woman had all these businesses and different elements that she was doing. I've never seen a woman that had daycare centers. I didn't see that. So here I go again. I didn't know she invited me for this. It was something going on at the time, and she invited me. And I said, you own this? She said, yes. And the outspoken person that I am, I said, how? How did you do this? I asked questions. How? And I told her that I had a 501c3 that I started years ago with a paralegal. I just didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what else to do once I started that 501c3. The paralegal just helped me with the 501c3. So that next day, or when we went to church, I saw her staring at me. And I was like, oh boy, here we go, drama. What's she staring at me for? So at the end of the service, she said, God told me to help you. And I said, what do you mean? She said, God told me to help you. I'm going to help you. She said, brush joy off, brush your 501c3 off. I'm going to help you. She gave me her grant writer, nothing but God. She gave me her contact. And her grant writer at the time, the grant writer said to me, she said, you're not ready. She said, you need 3 years. You're not ready. You're going after different school systems and you're just not ready. So what I did, I worked for this woman for 3 years so I can understand the scope of the business and the after school program. I worked for her and I did this. And then 3 years in doing that, that same grant writer came to me in year 2 and said that I used to do go in and teach self-esteem, life skills, and said, I'm actually writing a grant for someone and they need joy. So I got in through that door. But it all came from a how. Just like this young lady said to me in the interview, who? Who did this? Who wrote that we have to do this? How? She asked questions. You have to ask. You have to be able, no matter what it is that you're doing, you have to be able to ask the hows, the what's, how do I'm not happy where I'm at, or I'm not happy in my finances. I want more. I want to do more. I want to be more. You have to ask the question. We are all BOSS bosses, all of us, in everything that we do. And don't let nobody tell you that you're not. And the biggest thing that a lot of people can do is be dream killers. But you don't want to dream without having a vision. And you don't want to have a vision without having a goal. You have to have goals. It's all about goals. Your goals have to be obtainable or you can check them off. Check them off. So if you have a goal for 6 months, try to obtain that goal within 6 months to check them off. Goals, visions. Dreams sometimes is just a dream, but don't ever let no one take that away from you. So a lot of things that I had inside of me, because when you communicate it with some people, they don't understand because they may not be on your level of thinking, or they don't understand. They don't get it. Like, why are you telling me? So my advice is to do it. Go out there and do it. And if you don't know how, there's a lot of videos just like this one in Google. I Google everything. And the second business that I have, a second touch, I actually Googled that. I didn't know anything about support coordination. I didn't know anything. I used to be an in-home therapist, and I would see a woman come out in office, and I would say, I want to be her. And then I would sit at the table with a parent, and I sat with this young man. I didn't know he owned his own business, and he started talking this language, and I asked him again. I'm asking questions. Well, who do you work for? I work for myself. Oh, okay. Well, I want to work for myself. So if I see something, I'm going to ask that question. Okay. So then I started what I thought I was Googling, as far as Googling for how to open up a counseling agency. I ended up opening up a support coordination agency. And that's because I Googled it. That's because I asked questions. I wanted to know. I wanted to do something different. That's what it's about. So all I can say is do you. Do what you have to do. Ask questions. Don't feel like you stuck. And that's what I do. I help a lot of people where they're trying to start a business and they feel stuck. Don't get into the element of feeling stuck. They don't know what to do. That's where I was. They don't know what to do. You gotta keep moving. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going and going and going and going. So my website is StenellMyersEnterprises.com. On my website, you will see and learn what I do. I encourage you to go to my website because if you are a person that just want more and you want to just, it's inspirational. Just go and check it out. But more importantly, do you. Be who and who you want to be. Do what you want to do. And if you do not know how, ask someone that did it before you. This man paved the way for me. My angel, she paved the way for me. She gave me her contacts. And with her giving me her contacts, the grant writer was so expensive. I saved every dime I possibly could. And then the funny thing about it, I said, well, what if I don't get the grant? She said, you just don't get the grant. She said, but we're good. She had confidence in her business. She said, but we're good. You'll get it. But if you don't, I need to be honest with you. You just spent the money and you won't get the grant. And when you're going for a grant on that level, I was going against school districts that was already established districts. I said, okay, I'm going to get that grant because I believe. I believed in myself, and she made me feel confident that they were good at what they were doing. And I knew I was good at what I was doing because I have a passion to help the youth. I have a passion to help, period. And with that passion that God gave me, I knew I was going to get it. Not a cocky no, but a humbling no. I knew it. I am so thankful and I am so blessed. So I say to you, dare to be different and do what it is you need to do to become the you that God created you to be. Subscribe to my channel. God bless.